Welcome back to the channel all about cooking for beginners. And today we're going to evaluate 2 recipes for shrimp scampi. This will be from the perspective of a beginner, not an experienced cook, as I doubt they're looking at these videos for a shrimp scampi recipe to begin with. Recipe 1 is from Basics with Babish. Ingredients for it are on the screen now, and I'm going to discuss the recipes while footage plays of me making them. If you want to see the actual instructions, links to the videos are in the description. The categories for grading will be flavor, texture, ingredient availability, ease of cooking, and presentation. Also, they both use pasta in the recipes, but I like shrimp scampi with just plain bread, so keep that in mind. Babish's recipe I like overall. The simplicity means it's quick and easy to pull off with no exotic ingredients. Starts with heating a combo of butter and oil, adding aromatics, then deglazing with white wine before adding the shrimp and finishing it with lemon, parsley, salt, and pepper. Adding starchy water as needed to emulsify the sauce. Very easy for beginners to do, and the results are great. Flavor, 3 out of 5. It's pretty good, and it's exactly what you'd expect from shrimp, garlic, butter, and lemon. Texture, 3 out of 5. Also pretty good, but standard. Tender shrimp and a fairly clingy garlic and butter sauce. Ingredient availability, 5 out of 5. All of these were quite available from my grocery store, nothing too out there or hard to source. Ease of cooking, 5 out of 5. If I wasn't recording the video, then this would have been a breeze. Can knock it out in less than 15 minutes, prep and all. Presentation, 3 out of 5. The pool of butter sauce is a little unappealing, but it is tasty. Normally this is played with pasta, but shrimp scampi with bread is also a common thing, and I prefer that to pasta. Overall, 3.8 out of 5. Recipe 2 is from Gordon Ramsay, and right off the bat, the video is drastically different than the written recipe. The amounts in his written recipe are off, and some of the ingredients aren't even used. Same basic principle though. Heat oil, add your aromatics, deglaze with wine and stock. But before adding the shrimp, add some vegetables and cook them down. Then add shrimp and finish with parm, basil, salt, and pepper. Again, making sure to add starchy water to emulsify the sauce. Flavor, 2 out of 5. The written recipe advises for 2 teaspoons of chili flakes, which is way too overpowering. People not accustomed to spicy foods pretty much can't eat it if that's the amount used. Texture, 3 out of 5. Same as Babish. Texture of the shrimp and sauce is what you'd expect. Pretty good. Ingredient availability, 3 out of 5. For something that's supposed to be simple, the most painful ingredients are the seafood stock, capers, and parm. Seafood stock because it's hard to find, you can just use chicken instead. Capers because unless you know what you're doing, it's hard to find another use for a jar of capers, hence why it's bad for beginners. And parm because real parm is pretty expensive per pound. Ease of cooking, 4 out of 5. Slightly more complicated than Babish's due to the increased number of ingredients, but nothing too taxing. However, because of the sourcing issues with seafood stock, I had to make my own, and that explains the point deduction. Presentation, 4 out of 5. The increased ingredients emulsifies the sauce so it doesn't pool up as much as Babish's and thus looks nicer, plus the cherry tomatoes really pop in the visual department. Overall total, 3.2 out of 5. Here's the side-by-side comparison of the 2 recipes, and according to this criteria, the Basics with Babish Shrimp Scampi is the winner. His video also has a more complex version of shrimp scampi that's also great, but we just went with the simpler version here. Biggest issues with Ramsay's is the difference between his video and the actual written recipe, and the slightly increased difficulty in ingredient sourcing. It's not a bad recipe, just not as good as Babish's. The goal of this video was to help beginners evaluate recipes before they start cooking them and know why a recipe is good or bad. So I hope you found it useful, and for more tips, tricks, and similar content, please like, comment, and subscribe.